thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Pastor Tammi, can you hear me? That's me low-key auditioning for you. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Okay. Her voice is just so pure. I love it. Come on. Just believe. Woo! All right. This song is amazing. I've been worshiping to it all day. Welcome, Swaggy. Oh, I see you guys coming on. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Music Mondays with Terri, Cann, where we are featuring the lovely, the anointed, the mighty pen behind most of the songs that you love in the gospel industry. We're talking to one of the staples in the gospel industry tonight. Do me a favor, share this live. We are going live with the one and the, as my daughter runs out the room, Pastor Tammi Haddon.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Pastor Tammi, did you hear me like low-key auditioning for you?
I heard you.
You heard? Okay, well tell me what you think after the live. Don't embarrass me.
Right.
Oh my God, it's such an honor to have you on.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to Music Mondays with Terri, Cann.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you. For those of you who are joining, especially on Pastor Tammy's end, hey, Dion Kipping, you guys are like, what's happening? This is an episode of Music Mondays with Terri Cann. I am your host, Terri Cann. This is a show where we interview your favorite artists and music industry professionals. We usually have a lot of worshipers that tune in and a lot of indie artists. So we love to talk to our artists, get up close and personal with you, and also get some advice. And you are like a staple in the gospel industry. I was saying that you are the pen behind most of these songs that we love.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Oh, look at your husband. Terri is so beautiful. Yes, she is. Come on, husband. I see you. God bless you, Pastor Haddon.
Wow. See?
So,
he's working on something for later.
Oh, I can't comment too much on that. But go ahead and work. Pastor. Go ahead and work. I'm assuming that you enjoyed your Valentine's Day weekend.
I did. We had a great time. We did.
Awesome. So let's jump right into it. I want you to take us back to the beginning. You have made your mark in the gospel industry. I think that is an understatement. Wow. So please just take us along your musical journey from the beginning.
Wow, like nobody's ever asked me that question. So I've always been like a writer, like short stories and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Always been a communicator. And then my family grew up in a family full of singers. My cousins are Lisa Page Brooks and Tasha Page Lockhart. Those are my cousins. And so
wait, those are your blood cousins?
Mm-hmm. Lisa's my first cousin. Our moms are sisters. So
I did not know. Wow.
Yeah, so I grew up around singing, and then I went to school with my husband and his brother Dietrich and joined their church, and of course married into a family of singers. And so when Gerald and I started dating, that's kind of when I kind of shifted musically.
Okay.
Because Gerald was this amazing producer and musician and songwriter on his own, and then we started dating and we were hanging out. So he would say, hey, see if you can write something to this, or what kind of idea you have for that. And so literally my songwriting career started with my husband and I when we were dating, just hanging out together writing music.
Come on, what God put together is doper than dope. That's a very common version of that scripture.
I like that.
Wow, I love it. I love it. So you grew up in a family of singers, married into another family of singers.
Yes.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall during like Christmas dinner. Y'all just pass the piece.
Music everywhere.
It's just, that's amazing. So because you are like one of the greatest songwriters in the world, I really want to jump into that. What is your writing process like?
For me, my writing, I'm a storyteller. I like to tell stories, and I like to give complete pictures. I want you, when you hear a song that I write, I want you to be able to picture it.
Yeah.
There's something there's a technical term for it, and I always forget what it is, but I actually see colors when I write.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I actually see colors. And so words are just beautiful to me. And I don't like to use basic words. I feel like if I'm going to talk about a chair, I don't want to just say chair. I want to describe it so you'll see what kind of chair I'm talking about, and the texture of the material and the color of the wood. And so that's just kind of my process. If it's a story that I want to relay, I want to tell it with the most beautiful words I can. And so at the end of the song, it's almost like you watch the video.
Imagery, powerful.
Yeah.
That is powerful. I had to Google it real quick because I love Uncle Google. Synthesis. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Maybe that's why I keep forgetting it, because I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. Synthesis. I promise you, hooked on phonics word for me. I can read. I just this word right. It's giving me synthesia. Synthesia. Where you can see colors. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I feel like you already answered part of this next question, but if you have anything to add to it, and what makes a good song? You talked about imagery, which is so powerful.
Yeah. Well, I think I always tell my husband, we always talk about it, artistry is so subjective, and I think unfortunately in the gospel industry, in the industry that we're in, artistry is kind of contained, like, because there's a certain format and pretty much gospel music has been deemed to be for Sunday mornings within the four walls of the church. And so for the songwriter that is a concept writer, or a visual type person, that may box them in, because they need to be able to fit into what the choir is singing or what the worship team is singing. So what makes a great song is absolutely subjective. It totally depends on what you're looking for. There could be a song, like as I get older, I'm listening to some of the newer music, and people in my era are like, that's not music. And just like the people before us said that about our music.
Said the same thing, right?
It's that's the beauty of art. It is totally subjective. And art is something that makes you feel and makes you present and, pulls you in. And so whatever works for you, what I may deem a good song, you may not deem a good song, but the whole purpose of art is to make you feel. And if it does that, then it's done its job.
Amazing. Now, with this next question, let me put out a disclaimer.
Okay.
Y'all ain't gonna be quoting me like I'm hating on the people. I love gospel music. I love CCM music.
Absolutely.
I love just talk about Jesus in the right context.
Yes.
Put a good beat and some good melodies, I can get with it.
Absolutely.
But when we talk about song structure, and we talk about especially imagery, what is, let me throw this to you. What is your take on gospel? Because I feel like gospel is just like a few words, you sing it over and over and over, you modulate 15 times.
Yes.
Then you invert.
Very much so. We are in agreement, but just like anything else, that music has its place. The only problem I have with that is that you have such gifted and creative young believers who have so much to give in the creative space, who don't want to just do a verse, a hook, a vamp, and 6 months.
That's it, right?
You know what I'm saying? And so while that music has its place, I believe that gospel, the genre, should create room for people that is not their style, but the message is still the same. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, our spirituality got tied into our presentation, and people that are artistic with a little bit of flair are not necessarily deemed godly, so they are shut out of that space, but they're not necessarily a crossover artist. So now you have all of these gifted creatives kind of wandering in like a gray area with nowhere to be.
Wow. So true.
Yeah.
So true. What I will say though is I've noticed over the past few years a beautiful merge between the gospel world and the CCM world,
Absolutely.
where before you would have never thought that a Jacqueline Carr would be on the stage with what's Jordan Blake, with the CCM artist. Like we're seeing these one Maverick City. They're just like bringing these worlds together. What's your take on that in terms of you being an artist and in the gospel industry for so long?
I think it's amazing. I think the reason it's happening is because this generation refuses to be told what can be done and what should be done. They've decided to take their creativity and their artistry into their own hands and not let an executive or a radio programmer or someone that sits on a board or an award show tell them what is or is not good. They've decided to take their talent to the world, and social media has played such an amazing part in that. And absolutely. And then, Maverick City, those are my friends, and sometimes they get a bad rap, but here's what I think Maverick City did that we missed out on in the gospel genre. Maverick City created a platform and an opportunity for young unknown artists. In the gospel industry, if you wanted to work with somebody, you had to already have a name, or you had to have already pulled a certain amount of numbers for somebody to be willing to touch you. Well, Maverick City would take an unknown writer that's never written anything and put them in a room with a Stephanie Gretz singer or somebody that's already established and give them the opportunity to show me what you got. So I think that, and another thing that I think it's doing that it's a little dangerous. It's not dangerous for the artist, but it's definitely dangerous for the game. Is showing these younger artists, radio is cool, but you don't need it. You ain't gotta have it. And in gospel music, you are told you are not a viable artist unless you chart at a certain position on radio for a certain amount of time. Well, you have these young kids touring the world,
very good,
living off of their gift that have nothing on radio. You know what I'm saying? And so it's killing the game. It's damaging the infrastructure.
And it's so interesting because I as an independent artist, I have been seeking wise counsel, as you may, and been getting so many mixed reactions because as an independent artist, you are investing in your own music, right?
Yeah.
I don't just have $1,800 in every month to be shelling out to the best radio promoter.
Right.
And some people are just like, radio for what?
Right.
Spotify, social media, iTunes.
Yeah.
So that's such a good point.
Radio in our genre, radio and gospel is the thing that solidifies you as a gospel star. It solidifies your place. It's the thing that gets you on the stage at the Stellars. It's the thing that gets you on the stage at these major events, the McDonald's Fest, and all of these things that gospel artists want to be a part of. So without it, you're looked at as not necessarily a real artist. And so people coming into the gospel industry feel that they need radio to be looked at as legitimate. And that's very true. You do, if you are buying into this system. But know and understand that while that system is still what it is, and it still works for what it does, you no longer have to take that road. It's just your choice.
Are y'all listening? Tell you why all of my independent artists on here. So let's be politically correct. So no one will misquote the both of us, right? We're not saying that you don't need radio. We're not saying that we're not devaluing it.
Right.
But we are living in an amazing time that you can create your own lane.
Yeah, absolutely.
And expand from your own lane.
Absolutely, be a trailblazer.
That's
Chance the Rapper did it. Chance the Rapper forced the Grammys to have to acknowledge streaming music. You know what I'm saying? Because he just put his music out there and it just blew up. So what it is you cannot be fearful. So many of us want to be embraced by the community and embraced by the industry and recognized. So we do what has always been done in hopes that we catch a break. You have to not be afraid to work at it. and to maybe not be. And then this is another thing. It's a lot of people that you see their faces and you see them everywhere, but they can't live off of their work. So you have to ask yourself, what would you rather be? Would you rather be somebody that I recognize you when I see you, or somebody that I don't know maybe who you are, but you're streaming such heavy numbers, or you're moving such heavy units underground that you can actually live off of what it is you're doing? And that's very possible. That's very plausible. And so you just have to ask yourself what you want, and if that's the route you want to go, not be afraid to do it.
And I mean, it will eventually open up the door for people to, you know, like the emoji eyes, like, wait, who is this?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And that way you can't say that you know, some people buy their way to you can buy your way to the charts and gain no respect.
But buy your way for what? Because it's the possibility that you will spend out more than you'll ever make. Let's be very clear. Gospel music is an amazing genre, but we don't support our own. We don't support it. You get what I'm saying? So
I get it.
Spend out all of this money for the hype of somebody saying, or being able to post a graphic that your number whatever on the billboard, and you probably haven't seen a single royalty because the deal is not set up in your favor. You want a label imprint. You want them to say, oh, stamp this label, you know, and all they're doing is what you could do, releasing it digitally. Ain't nobody fooling with hard copies no more. Marketing is all done on social media. So you want the imprint, you want the validation, right? But guess what? That's going to cost you. So you can chart whatever. They're going to take their money off the top. And you may or may not get anything.
Say a lot. Say a lot. Are y'all listening? Could you guys tag some people in this? I say in the room like I'm on Clubhouse. Tag some people on this live, because Pastor Tammi is telling us the truth. Wow, that is so true, and it's very encouraging. You know, it's very encouraging to hear, because this thing, as you know, takes a lot of money.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Lots and lots and lots of money. So it's like, okay, well, if we don't have this label, $100,000 or whatever behind us, then the little that we do have, we have to be careful how we're spending it and what is going to be more beneficial to us.
Yes,
right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, you just have to be afraid to not, you know, you can't be afraid to, like, people just want to be known. You know, it's like, I want people to say my name. I want to be on certain stage, and I get it. I totally get that. You're gifted and you want people to experience that gift, but what's the expense? You know
at what cost? Yeah.
What's the cost? And you got to weigh those things out. And even in talking about Maverick, like, if you were to ever sit and talk to Tony Brown, who founded Maverick, Tony is a songwriter. He wrote Good Father with some other writers, and that's how he got it. Yeah, so he's a songwriter first, and he was in deals and all that kind of stuff. But Tony started thinking he didn't even start thinking like a record executive. He started thinking like a Berry Gordy. He started thinking
a record label
that paid the record executives, right? And the way Tony maneuvered his deals and his money, he made what could have cost him pay him. And so he created a platform where people are coming to him. And unfortunately, we don't think like that. We think like we're trying to get, I need this record executive to notice me, to sign me. When the record executive still has somebody they got to answer to. They're not spending their money. They're spending somebody's money that probably don't even go to church. They don't care nothing about you being a gospel artist. All they want dollars. Like, where's my money? Right? And so
it doesn't matter how anointed you are.
Girl, listen, they don't care. So these record executives are like, okay, so they can sing, that's cute, but I need somebody that's got a following because I need to make money. So that's why if you don't already have a following or whatever, they're not checking for you like that. But by the time you have one, the truth of the matter is you don't need them. And so now you're attaching yourself just for the validation. Somebody said to me the other day, some people chase something so long that when they finally get right at getting it, they don't realize that it's not even valuable anymore. You've wanted it for so long. And so I think that's what this is. Streaming has changed the game. Social media has changed the game. You can be your own record label. Yes,
y'all listening? Are y'all listening? Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
That's so good. We're living in a good time. I forgot who. I think it was Sydney Scott. Some room, some clubhouse room. I was there with the music editor, and they even said like, "This is the time." Kevin Bond, Dr. Kevin Bond. Oh, such wisdom. He said, "This is the time for the independent artist.
Yeah.
Like this is our time. It's a good time."
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Here's the key, and I'm gonna say this to any independent artist that you have on here. See, there are a lot of people that can sing, and there are a lot of people that can write, and there are a lot of people that are talented, but everybody's not an artist. And I'm gonna tell you what the difference is.
Tell us.
Artists are very clear on who they are. They're very protective of their gift. They won't let it be abused nor manipulated. And even if it does start to be, they'll pull back very quickly, right? So the reason that an artist will have an easier chance in creative spaces is because they won't get caught up with the fluff most times. They won't get caught up with the hype because they appreciate the authenticity of their gift. So they cover it. My husband and I we were in a store the other day. Oh, we were in H&M the other day. And you know the artist Pink, right? So they were playing Pink's very first single when Pink was R&B.
Yeah.
And I said to Gerald, I said, if she had not had enough nerve to tell L.A. Reid, no, this is not me, she would have come and gone, because that style for her, even though she can sing, that style for her would have blown over. She couldn't carry that well. They did it because she was a white girl that had a rich sounding voice. So, let's make this white girl dance and be R&B. But she was clear on who she was. And that's why now she's an icon. I believe Alicia Keys did the same thing. Her first album was put on the shelf because she refused to conform. When you know who you are, you will not let them box you in. But when you don't know who you are, you will be so fearful of losing the deal, so fearful of losing the place, so fearful that it will never come back around for you, that you will take whatever is thrown at you. And be clear, it is the industry's job to throw you the worst deal they can that will get the best result. Don't ever think they're coming to you with the best deal for you. They're always trying to give you the best for you. The best for them. That's the worst for you, because they need to make money. They're not your friend. They're not your friend. They're not your accountant. They are a company trying to make money off of you.
Every time I look down, I'm writing, by the way, because.
And mind you, I'm saying this like I'm not at all in any way a disgruntled artist or anything. I'm fine. Like, and I know a lot of times when people have been mishandled in the industry and stuff, it's hard to take, but I haven't been mishandled. I've had amazing industry experiences. My husband and I, we have amazing relationships, people we can call, we still work, we do all kinds of things. So this is not a disgruntled conversation. This is an informed conversation, what I've learned over the years. And my sons are trying to do music, and this is what I'll tell them. Like, be very careful. Don't sign a publishing deal for what? You don't sign up unless they're walking you to an artist and guaranteeing you placement and percentage. Don't sign away publishing for I'll kind of get you next to somebody that maybe you can write with. No, that's gonna take you 20 years to recoup for $50,000. Maybe now they're not even doing those kind of deals no more. Like, like it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. And I think one of the worst things that we can do, and I've seen it happens in all genres, but I've seen it in the gospel industry because that's the genre I work in primarily, is that we have the music part down, but we don't have the business part down. Oh. And so we sign bad deals, and my husband and I, years back, we were out to dinner with a friend that was an artist at the time, and they were talking about royalty checks, and they were talking about this specific label, and the guy said, he was like, he said, they got some money over there for me, but it's like, whatever, I got a day job. And I was like, and what does that mean? I don't care if you got 10 day jobs. That's your money. That's your money. You know what I'm saying? But the truth of the matter is he didn't know how to go about getting it. He didn't know how to get what was hit, you know. And so when you're uninformed, then it's like, all I know is I want to put a record out. I want to see my picture on social media. I want to hear my song on the radio, and I want to get gigs. That's all they know. But somebody getting some money. Unfortunately, most artists ain't going home.
Not the artist. Wow.
You know?
We definitely, I know I can speak on behalf of every artist on here. We definitely appreciate you sharing your truth and being so transparent. I was gonna ask, you're not gonna get in trouble, right, for spitting all these facts? Like,
oh no, because it's not. I think if you talk to the right record executive, they'll tell you the same thing. It's like, and you know, you don't even have to ask anybody. If you've ever been sent a contract and you look at it long enough and weigh it against the truth of what listen. Ain't nobody got to open their mouth. You can look at it and see what's what.
And you mentioned Chance the Rapper. Am I correct in saying he's still not signed to a label? Is he still independent?
You know what? Don't quote me, but I think Chance signed, but I think he signed because they came with an astronomical deal.
I'm sure. And it was recently. It was recent. It had to be
but
recent.
Don't quote me. I'm not too well versed on that, but I think he did. But if he didn't have to. So which means if he did, it had to be well worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at that point, and I think this is every what we need to strive as independent artists, at that point is like, if you're gonna come for me, please be able to do more for me than what I can do.
And I can do for myself. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Wow. Woo! Everyone's saying thank you for the wealth of information. Somebody said you were saving lives on tonight. I want to say you were saving bank accounts too.
I really want people to go after their dreams, and there's nothing wrong with being signed to a label. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Labels have been an intricate part in my career. Intricate. So there's nothing wrong with that. All I'm saying is, as a writer and as an artist on this side, I'm not a label executive. So on this side of the fence, speaking to people like me, all I'm saying is do your due diligence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And make sure that nobody's getting over on you. If a label approaches you or you approach a label and it's a good deal, and I don't even mean a great deal. If it's good right now and it's not something that's tying you up forever, okay. You know what I'm saying? But don't put yourself in something that you don't have the time to work your way out of, because what looks like 3 years on paper could end up being 10 years in reality. You know? So all I'm saying is just do your due diligence. And I'm not saying you have to know everything, but make sure you have a team of people around you that do.
They were talking about that too, that a lot of the Black folk, we don't get lawyers.
we have our friends look at
we get our cousins. So like you like your cousin, you went to grad school, right? You studied something. Here, read this.
True. You need to get a lawyer, even if you because listen, I know money ain't like that. Ain't nobody got no money to be having lawyers look at 5-10 contracts. Even if you got a lawyer one time with one contract and said, okay, so can you walk me through, give me key things to stay away from. Like if you can tell me key things to stay away from and certain verbiage that they would be trying to trick me with, give me some trigger words. Tell me what to look out for. I mean, like if you can just pay for that and then take that and then read and then you have to be your own. You got to be your own advocate, because I understand ain't nobody got no money to be sitting up with lawyers and all that kind of stuff. Right. But you do need to ask somebody like, what do I need to look out for?
And then you can identify it for yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. Well, Pastor Tammi Haddon, again, you are a staple in the gospel industry. You have worked with, I'm reading your bio, Mary, Erica Campbell, Isaac Caree, Deirdre Haddon, Kira Sheard, Bishop Knowles, and that's just to name a few of the greats. Am I hearing feedback? Are you hearing feedback on my end, or is that?
No, I'm not. I'm not hearing feedback. Okay. I'm good.
Okay, amazing. So, who is on your bucket list to work with, like, next? I mean, besides Terri Cann.
Oh my God! Come on now. Anybody that's a country artist. I love country music.
I see you did a single recently with a country artist, right?
Timmons.
Wow.
Yes. We
That's different.
met we met at one of the Maverick camps, and that song that we recorded, we wrote together at the Maverick camp. And Tim called me and was like, I would love for you to actually sing this with me. And I was like, absolutely, let's go. Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. But yeah, that's my bucket list, is because I am concept driven and I'm a storyteller. I've been so fortunate to have artists that have been willing to take the chance, and that have been big enough artists to be able to say to their label, no, I want to do this song. So I've been fortunate enough to have that, because my style of writing is not necessarily conducive with the gospel industry. And so because of that, I would love to write country and pop, because I think it would allow me the ability to storytell.
Yes. I'm sure I speak for everyone. I say we are here for it.
Wow.
And you are, not only are you a Grammy award-winning, Stella award-winning, everything award-winning songwriter, but you are also a pastor with your husband.
Yeah,
we beautiful ministry in Atlanta. So congratulations on the new building.
Thank you. Thank you, girl. We started our church. Oh my God, it's been almost 2 years ago. We were in LA for 15 years. My husband was the minister of music, pastor of worship for Bishop Noel Jones Church. And so we were there for 15 years. And I mean, everything was good. Life was good. Mm-hmm. We were settled. I mean, good. It's
Noel Jones, I'm sure.
And I told Gerald, I said, honey, I was like, purpose doesn't live here anymore. Ooh. And like, what does that mean? And I was like, I don't know what it means. I just know, I feel like whatever God wants to do with us next, this was just our preparation, but it's not here. Like, we've capped here. Wow. And he fought it tooth and nail, but we ended up moving here to Atlanta. And maybe for the first 8 months, we were at our friend Bishop William Murphy's church. My husband was over there helping him with the music department. And then one day, Gerald was like,
William Murphy's your friend. I'm sorry, that's just so cool.
Okay. we all Detroit kids. Yeah, so and so we were there for about, it was 8 to 10 months, somewhere around in there. And then my husband was like, well, okay, God said to move on, but he's not saying anything. And so we were just kind of here for about 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then my husband was like, I believe God is calling me to pastor, but he was very weird about it. My husband, first of all, because he said he would never preach. So he was very weird about it. And then he was like, there's this space that people feel like producers or writers or artists, when they're washed up or done, that they go and pastor, right? And so Gerald was like, I'm still working. I'm still doing what I'm doing. He was like, and pastoring is going to cost me more than it's going to make me. So, and I was like, you can't worry about what people are going to think. Like, let's do what God says do. And we started Breathe ATL. Yes. And we were going good for about 6 months, and God has such a sense of humor. COVID hit, and then we went online. I told you, we're a mega ministry. We are the same size as every other church.
There you go. Right.
And so God has just been faithful. We got our building back in October. Yeah. And we've been having in-person services, and it's just been growing, and it blows our mind, because we're just Gerald and Tammy, like our people, our community, that some call us pastor, but it's like, hey Gerald, hey Tammy, and like we're very comfortable with that, and so God is he's just blowing our minds.
I just want to make it known that the word came to the woman first. Come on, women.
Come on. I told him I'm the favor factor.
Wow. That's amazing. And how have you been able to balance, because you're still working, how have you been able to balance pastoralship with artistry and writing and everything?
It's definitely been a challenge. We thought it would be as easy as balancing everything else, but everything else people didn't need us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so this is different because people need you. And God has really blessed us we have an amazing team that just understand. Like, my husband, Gerald, is a total creative. Like, he's not thinking, everything is music. Everything is performance. Everything is production. And so we have a team that understands that, and they make sure that everything is streamlined, and they keep him on point, and they make sure that he knows what's going on. And you know, versus beating him over the head like, you missed this and you missed that and you're supposed to do this.
Right.
You know, they're very clear on who he is. And so
Awesome.
they really help us navigate it. So I really want to say the way that we are balancing Breathe is because out the gate, God gave us some amazing people that were like, throw the balls in the air. We're going to help you juggle them. So that's what's been going on for us.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Could you imagine, like, I know we started on talking about your musical journey, but did you always envision yourself being who you are today, or were you like, I want to be a doctor when I grow up?
Listen, for real, was headed to med school. That was my thing. Because Gerald fusses.
Did I just throw in the prophetic?
Listen, he was like, why do we watch all of these doctor shows? And I was like, I like it. But music just happened. It just I think it was always in Gerald's, like, he was always looking towards that. For me, it just happened. I wasn't looking to be a songwriter. I wasn't looking to be a singer professionally, none of that kind of stuff. And God just started opening all of these amazing doors. And I had no idea I would be doing what I'm doing. I'm still the type of person, like when Anikia, she's our executive assistant, when she told me, she was like, you're going to be talking about music. And I was like, they want me to talk about music? Because I don't even look at myself like that. Like, I don't assume that I'll walk into a room and anybody will know who I am or anybody will know anything that I've done. All I know is I do it because I love it, but I don't have this idea that I'm this person in music. Like, I personally.
You are.
I don't see it at all. Thank you.
Do you need to like look at your Grammys or your Stellas?
They're in the house, but it just, I don't know.
I
don't buy into it. I don't buy into it.
Well, maybe that's what keeps you a wonderful, humble, and modest gospel artist, because I've met some. Amen. Yes. So that's good. Amen. That's good. Wow. And part of your ministry with your husband, you guys have like a specific marriage ministry where you minister to married couples. And I really need to know from you, how do you balance working with your husband so close?
See, here's the thing.
Tell me, school us.
Gerald and I are actually friends because we are professional fighters. Like, Gerald and I know how to argue for like sport. We're like really, really good at it. Like, we're pros at it. But we really like each other. He's my friend. And so we make up easily, you know, we argue fast, make up easily. But when it comes to working together, I just think he's so gifted. And then he thinks the same of me. And so the fact that we can celebrate each other in those spaces is what makes it easy. Now, don't get it twisted. He's the person I'm in the studio with slamming doors or walking out like, I'm done tonight. Don't ask me nothing else, you know. But we always manage to get it done. And there's this synergy between us where musically we just kind of fit together in this space. And he doesn't try to make me something lyrically that I'm not. Even though he was this gospel producer and I was coming at him with a lot of these pop country-ish lyrics, he wasn't sending me back to the drawing board. He was taking it and making it work and saying, here it is, here's the song we wrote, like, take it. I remember when we were getting ready to write a song for Tina and Erica for Mary Mary, they had called us and said they wanted a song. And so, of course, Mary at the time was this artist that they had created a sound. They had created a space that was theirs. And so, of course, you go and you sit, and Gerald was their music director. So you go and sit and you start listening to this music, and it's like, okay, let me give Mary a Mary song, right?
Right.
And so you start writing these songs, and we spent like 2 days doing this. And I remember I said to him, I said, I can't give them a Mary song. I said, Mary is going to have to get a Gerald and Tammy song, or else, you know. Okay. And I told him, I said, give me a minute. I said, I'm going upstairs to get in the shower. And I went and got in the shower, and I started literally I wasn't even in there 5 minutes. And I started humming, yeah, I've been left out, looked over, just for carrying scrolls on my shoulder. And I jumped out of the shower. I said, Gerald, I got it.
You
And I
got
ran
it.
downstairs and I sang the whole hook to him of Sitting With Me. And then we just sat there and just wrote the song in maybe 30 minutes and sent it over. And they were like, this is the song. And so that taught me, and I'll tell a lot of writers and producers, when you have the opportunity to work for bigger artists, I know it's very, you know, the idea to give them their sound is attractive, but when somebody singles you out and asks you to do something for them, it's because they appreciate what it is that you do. And so it's all right to give them you in those moments. Don't try to give them what they already have.
Wow.
Give them what's unique to you. What is your sound? What do you bring to the table as a writer or as a producer that is unique? You know, I love when I'm listening to records and I don't know who wrote the song and I'm like, that sounds like a so-and-so record. Or that's not, because they have such a staple sound. And so I think it's very important. Yeah, it's very important that you stay authentic to who you are, even when you're working with other artists.
Wow, that's invaluable information. Because they obviously reached out to you because they wanted your sound.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was nervous, you know, and then I said, all I could give them was me. I was trying to give them them.
Yeah.
I don't write like Tina and Erica. Like if they wanted that, they would sit down and write their own song because they've got that down. But obviously they got something different. So I gave them what I had, and it worked. And that, I'm gonna tell you, that changed my perspective, because Sitting With Me was not a single. Sitting With Me did not get any gospel radio play.
Okay.
But Sitting With Me was nominated for the Grammy because the body of work was appreciated.
Right.
And so I think a lot of times we can mess up trying to do what everybody else is doing. Like, you know, what's popular on radio? What's so-and-so doing? This, that, the other. I think when there's something in you that is so unique and you're like, here it is, take it. Like, I love Ed Sheeran. This guy, like, where did this guy come from? You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, you
like,
too?
He's like, this is me. Take it or leave it.
That's it.
You know? And so I challenge people to be authentic to who you are. It's 7.6 billion people in the world, right? Everybody ain't gonna like you.
That's it.
But it's enough people in the world for enough people. So I always say, I don't need everybody. I don't need all the people. I just need the right people. People. So do what you do. And so what if a couple of people on social media that follow the gospel blogs, that all they listen to is gospel music, don't like it? So keep doing what you're doing. They're not the right people. Then they're not the right people. And so you do what you do, and the right people will come to you.
Period. I mean, amen.
Period. Yeah.
Wow. Woo! I know you guys are listening, and I'm seeing all the comments. Everyone is appreciating you. Just giving us so much tonight. We really appreciate that. If you guys, we're coming close to the end. If you guys have any questions, please do not post it on the wall. Just hit that little question mark. I see some questions coming in already. And Pastor Tammi will give us a few more minutes. We just want the audience to weigh in.
Sure.
Either has some questions for you. After this is my last question, I think. It's a little personal, so you can answer it at your discretion. But what has been the greatest obstacle in your life, and how have you overcome it? Excuse me.
I have been the greatest obstacle in my life. I have been introverted, and I have been insecure, and I have second-guessed myself, and I have doubted myself out of opportunities, and I have refused to walk into rooms because I didn't feel like I was worthy. I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. What do I bring to the table? Even with this conversation tonight, I'm like, she wants to talk music. Why me? Why not even Gerald? You know, like, why me? But
we can get him another week, but I would
but
the lady.
My biggest obstacle, and I've had to constantly tell myself, like, no, your gift is real and it's valuable and it's viable, and you don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to compare yourself to everybody else. And this is an everyday conversation in my head. It probably will be until the day I go to heaven. It's just my struggle, you know? And so, yeah, I've never had to fight through people. I've always had to fight through the voice in my head. And so I feel like when the enemy knows that God has amazing plans for you and he realizes he can't stop you, the only thing he can hope for is that he can get you to stop yourself. And so that's been the thing that I've battled with. But I trust God. Do I trust him the same all day, every day? No, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
It's hard some days, you know, because when you're having conversations in your head, I can look and say, Tammy, you're Grammy nominated. Everybody can't say that. But then on the other hand, I can say, yeah, but you're struggling with this, that, the other. Like there's always this way out thing. But listen to this. Here's what I know. I'm not going to stop. I'm not gonna stop here. I'm not gonna die here. I'm just gonna keep going. And whatever's in me that I release out, I believe that God will have somebody there to help pick it up. If I throw this ball, it's gonna be somebody that catches it and starts running with it. And so that's just why I keep going. Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad I'm talking to you. I love your husband too, but I wanted to talk to the first lady first.
Thank you.
I see a few questions coming in. Someone is asking, what is your favorite song by Dietrich Haddon?
Oh my God, what is my favorite song by Dietrich? Oh my God, Dietrich is such a freaking great artist.
Can we say everything?
Can we say everything? I want to say right at this very moment, my favorite Dietrich song is, and I guess it's an LXW song. It's Come By Here. Oh Lord, touch somebody tonight. That's my. But then his vibe is just. We were talking about Dee Dee the other day, and I was like, Dee Dee is a freaking anomaly. And I'm gonna tell you, here's why I say that. You got a Mary and a Kirk Franklin who they are performing artists. They're gonna give you a show. And then you've got Tasha Cobbs and oh my God, Travis Green and they're worshipers.
Yeah.
Right? And very seldom could these two worlds come together and not feel contrived. Very seldom does that happen. Dee Dee flows seamlessly between the two worlds. He'll get up there and sing this R&B driven song and dance all over, and 5 minutes later be crying and worshiping, and it doesn't feel it's real. And so he's an anomaly, and he's my brother, and he gets on my nerves, and I don't even know if I like him today. I don't even know if today right now I like him, because he's a lot. But that's my brother, and he's like one of the dopest to ever do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
I must agree. Do you have a website?
I don't have a personal website. I need to get me a website, but I am on all over social media. But I don't have a personal website.
Okay, guys, I see some questions coming in. I'll answer, but please put it in the question box. Someone said, we love Tammy. We love Tammy too. What is your favorite song by Jacqueline Carr?
Winning Season. I don't care what else she records. She's so bomb. But that is and it's probably my favorite song because I've only seen Jacqueline perform live once. We were in New York. We were there with Tina and Erica, and she was on the show. And that girl in them 6-inch Louboutins sang that song into the floor. And I was like, ma'am, what are you doing? Yes, that's my favorite song.
First of all, Jacqueline looks like she came out the womb preaching. She didn't even cry. Just like, you know.
I love her.
Woo! Yes. Okay. How can we find you on Facebook? Okay. Can I answer this question?
Go ahead. Go.
Just type her name in, guys. Just type her name in. Okay. Facebook.
There you go.
TammiHaddon. It's there. Okay. Yes. Thank you. All right. Oh, someone said you were a favorite artist. So,
wow, thank you.
What's next?
What is next? Oh my God, it's so much that's next, but it's so much that's different. So
Okay.
I'm writing a book, but
What?
it's about relationships. So I'm writing a relationship book.
Okay.
And so this may sound weird. So this is what I'm actually in the middle of doing. So I've been a licensed life coach for about 6 years, but I've done nothing with it because I feel like everybody's a life coach. So I'm like, you don't need anything. I have to
Thank you, social media. Sorry.
Everybody's a life coach. And so as of late, I've been dealing with some stuff and thinking about how we always know how to come into a thing, but we don't know how to end a thing. And I'm of the belief now that everybody needs some type of exit therapy after every relationship. And the reason I feel that way is because there is nothing in this world that you can touch and not leave your fingerprints on it. And just as it is for things, it is for people. And so I believe that in relationships, when you come out of them, you need to ask yourself some specific questions, because people always say, don't carry baggage into the next relationship. Well, where are you putting it? Where are you leaving it? Where's it going?
How are we getting rid of it?
I think there are questions like, what did this relationship add to you? What did it take away? How did you come in? How are you coming out? You know what I'm saying? Did it take something from you? Did it add to you? You know, how did you see yourself going in? How do you view yourself now that you're out of it? What did this do to you? And so I don't think people really deal with that. People just come out of relationships. It didn't work. And now I'm going into, you know, the next thing. But whatever happened in that relationship, whatever touched you, good or bad, has affected you, and it will come back up later. So I think it needs to be dealt with. So anyway, I said all that to say, I'm going to start doing some form of like exit therapy for relationships. That's what I think I'm getting ready to start. So mentoring through that kind of thing.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
And needed. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And music-wise?
Music-wise, well, my husband went solo. So Gerald has a record that's getting ready to come out that has everybody on it. It's called Gerald Haddon and the Family Band. And so I'm on it, but he's got everybody on this record. And so he's doing that. Yeah, he's doing that. But I'm getting ready to work with some artists and producers, some of my Maverick friends, and we're gonna see what we come up with. Take me with you. Absolutely.
Maverick is just, I don't even understand how they get a bad rap, like at all. They're, whatever, haters.
Well, you know, trailblazers get a bad rap all the time.
But they are a trailblazer, so they can just continue to blaze the trail.
Blaze it.
This is an amazing question. Are you open to mentoring independent artists one-on-one?
Absolutely. Actually, my husband and I were talking about setting something up to do just that. The reason my husband actually held back was because of Clubhouse. We talked about this yesterday. Yeah. And you know, he was like, there's so many people on Clubhouse just giving off information. But my stance about Clubhouse, I love Clubhouse. I'm not on there a lot. I just get a little exhausted after a while. But my stance, period, is that when you talk a lot, it devalues what you have to say. When somebody can catch you just talking all the time, they start to lose value. It starts to lose value. And so we've definitely been talking about mentoring. To answer your question short and sweet, yes, we've been talking about doing it, but I want to make sure that that I can give them something that they really need, because it's easy to tell them what not to do, but I want to be able to help them with what they should do next. And so we're absolutely going to be doing that in the short, near coming future.
Thank you. Someone convinced me. They were like, you need to be on Clubhouse. And I was like, Instagram is a job all by itself. I don't want one thing. But I'm on Clubhouse, and I started to really like it. But as you say, like, you can go from one room where they're talking about this, and then the next room is opposing that, and you're just like,
and I think for me, because I'm a creative, I have a problem with me telling, or anybody kind of bashing other creatives. Like, they don't have to do it the way you think they should do it, and it doesn't have to sound like you think it should sound or look like you think it should look. But that's the whole idea of being artistic. I told my husband tonight, I was saying, kids color inside the lines. I expect artists to be all over the place. I expect broad strokes. That's the difference between an artist and somebody with a coloring book. And I just take issue when people sit and are just so judgmental and hard on people that are just trying to get what's in them out. And it's like, artistry is unique. So what if I don't look anything like you? So what if it's not what you're used to? Let me live. Let me do me. Encourage me. Yeah, encourage me. It's just not enough encouragement. It's a whole lot of couch critics, and it bothers me. It bothers me. People, how are you going to tell me, like, and this may be a sidebar, like, The Weeknd, I don't necessarily listen to his music. Mm-hmm. He's not necessarily an artist that I follow. Mm-hmm. But the young man performed at the Super Bowl. Now, maybe it wasn't Michael Jackson. Right. Maybe it wasn't Beyonce. Maybe it wasn't Bruno Mars. Maybe it wasn't Janet Jackson. But he's not any of them. Correct. And everybody that was sitting at home talking about how bad it wasn't asked to perform at the Super Bowl. They were sitting at home. That was it. Hush and let him live. And I don't mean that in a bad, I mean, that's not to say that you can't say, oh, I didn't enjoy this, that, the other. Get it. But when you feel like you can get online and bash somebody from your apartment couch, I get it. Cut it out. Stop it. I don't think that's cool at all. That's not cool. I gotta have a whole 20-minute conversation about this right here. But it's yeah. I think people just like to talk. And for me, it's as a creative, this thing is hard. It's hard. So I don't care if I hear another artist and they don't have it all together. Like, just knowing the effort that was put into it, like, respect that. Respect it. Absolutely. And real artists do. I think people that are really artistic, they don't judge other people's artistry like non-artistic people do, because they understand it's subjective. What's in you is flowing out of you, and it's not supposed to look like me. I'm my own artist. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Pastor Tammi, you're amazing. I love the way that you are transparent, and you have kept it real on tonight. That's the only way I know how to be. You have blessed us. You have saved lives and budgets on tonight. Wow, come on. Would you like to just say any last words to any independent artists that are listening? I want to say, trust your gift and trust your God. That's what I want to say. I want to say, cultivate. Don't worry about the door. It will open. You just make sure you're prepared when it does. So cultivate your gift. Take in as much information as you can. Yeah. Just like dive into what it is that you do. Just heart, mind, body, and soul, and give 110%. You don't want to have any regrets. You don't want to feel like, I could have, but I was afraid. The worst you can hear is no. And I promise you, everybody's not going to say no. So just keep pushing. I know you guys think she was talking to you all, but she was talking to me, okay? She was talking to me. Thank you very much. Last question, I promise. When you talk about getting as much information, because there is so much information, and it can be very confusing and very overwhelming. So how do you distinguish the relevant or the good from the bad? Oh, that's a good question. I would definitely, like I said, I would definitely find a lawyer or someone like that to just ask questions, to pick their brain. As far as songwriters are concerned, I would start off as basic as an ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, something like that, and see how the system works. Yeah. See, okay, how do I get paid? Where's this money coming from? Okay, so what it is you want to start at the end and work your way back. So let's say you're looking at ASCAP and you're like, okay, so I know ASCAP pays me royalties, right? But where does this money come from? And then when you figure out, it comes from performances or it comes from radio. Okay, so it comes from that. Well, how do I get money on radio? Oh, well, you get that because you wrote the song and you got, you know, you got a percentage of writers, or okay, so what do I have to do to make sure I have my percentage in this? You know what I'm saying? So you backtrack, and as you ask questions, you search for the answers. And then another thing I will tell a songwriter, in song, I don't care if you're writing a word, okay? If you are in a writing session, don't you leave that writing session without a split sheet. Don't you leave that writing session without having an understanding about who wrote what and what percentage they are getting.
Very good.
Because you will look up and you will have written a song and you will go off somewhere and that song will be on radio and your name won't be nowhere on it.
Not a dollar coming to you.
Not a dollar. Another free piece of advice. Let's say, for instance, I'll use a bit. Let's say, for instance, a Beyonce, right? Let's say you write a whole song. You write a whole song. And Beyonce hears your song and wants to do your song, right? And Beyonce says, I want to say that I'm a writer on this song and we're willing to give you 10% of this song, right? Now, mind you, you wrote the whole song now. And Beyonce says, I'm going to give you 10% of this song. I would tell you, take the 10%. You know why? A 10% of a Beyonce song, right, could turn into way more than 100% of another song. Now, if you got another, you're not going to have a single. They maybe sell, maybe on a good record, 80,000, 100,000, 200,000 units, right? They can't, being connected to them may or may not. No, you're not getting 10%. I don't care who you are. You're not getting 10%. But every situation is different. Like, because people always say, I'm not giving away any of my publishing. I'm not. No, there are some artists worth it. Right. There's some artists that is worth it. Just make sure that you are aware of what is worth it. Don't let the hype kill you. Don't let the hype get you all messed up. You're seeing these artists on TV and on social media and all this stuff, and you think they're doing what they're doing because they're being pushed in your face. And so you think you'll tie to them and make a ton of money, and you wondering why, well, I was on this record and they be all, I saw them on so-and-so and I saw them on, but I haven't gotten a check yet. That's because the hype killed you. You thought it was smoke and mirrors. It was smoke and mirrors. So yeah, so just, you know, and some stuff, don't beat yourself up. There are some things you will learn by default. There are some things that you'll learn because you messed up. And that's okay. That's okay. The only thing I will say, do not sign a bad deal. If somebody gives you a contract, if you got to borrow money for a lawyer to look at it, do not sign a bad deal. That one bad deal can cost you your artistic life. To get out. You know, it could literally cost you your 20-year career to get out of a publishing deal because you haven't recouped. So, yeah.
My. Thank you. Are we losing connection? Pastor Tammi, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. I was getting the circle for a little while. I can't thank you enough. Lord. Guys, put your hearts up for Pastor Tammi, please. Put your hearts
Thank y'all so much. I had a good time.
And likewise, will you be giving us like a 16-bar closeout?
No!
Okay, we'll just go on your Instagram.
I'm not a singer like that.
I'm sorry. I definitely saw that you sang Excess Love yesterday in church and killed it.
Oh my God. See, church is totally different.
Oh my God. Okay, Pastor Tammi. Well, thank you again for lending us your time. I know we are still quarantined, but your time is very valuable as you are juggling all of the amazing things that you're doing. I pray that God continues to richly bless you and your husband's ministry and artistry and everything that you guys are doing. Continue to press forward. Continue to impact the world. Y'all are dope, man. You guys are gold.
Thank you. And you as well, girl. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't ever think it's too late. Your destiny is literally in the hands of you and God. Amen. Point blank. Yeah.
Point blank, period. Thank you so much, Pastor Tammi. Hope to speak to you soon again. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, good night.